Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. Happy In the Nick of Time event this morning. I'm very excited about today's event because I'm about that girl who needs in the nick of time help. I have a really fun, universal project for you, a project that just about everybody would love to get as a gift or could enjoy and share. It's a gift that is shareable. So I'm going to show you my project, but let me grab the feed, make sure the feed is working so that I can say hello to you, you can say hello to me, we can chat and craft together. I got my cup of coffee here. Happy Saturday morning to everybody coming on. I have my iPad or right here, my laptop. I'm just gonna make sure it's working. So hang tight, folks. Let's make sure that we are actually live in the right place because it's been known to happen where it's not in the right place. We don't want that to happen today. So, oh yay, it is here. We are working. Okay, let me grab the comments so I can say good morning to Janet and Lois. Good morning, ladies. Lois is watching from Vermont. My name is Grace. I am here in North Dakota. The name of my creative business is The Comfy Nest with Grace, where I love to encourage and motivate you to create more often with joy. So today, I've done a little prep work because this project, oh my gosh, it's little and it's sweet. Everybody could use this. I mean, I think the one that I make, I'm going to keep for myself and put it in my glove compartment box. Today, we're going to be making, I'm calling it the Hit the Road game. Hit the Road game pouch. So what we're going to do is we're going to use one of these little canvas pouches. You can get these, my Dollar Tree doesn't have these. And I live in a small rural town, so I don't have a Hobby Lobby, I don't have a Michael's, but check your favorite hobby store and see if they have these little canvas pouches. I sell these in my shop in sets of 3. We use them in the Napkin Lovers Club. The members of that membership group of mine got them in their box, the last box. And so I try to sell the things that go in the box in the store so people can grab more of them, okay? So this is just a little zippered pouch with a green top, and we're gonna make it a game pouch that can be thrown in someone's backpack. It can be left in your glove compartment box. You can throw it in your suitcase so that when you're traveling or when you have, you just have time to kill, right? Like you're just sitting there wondering what to do and you're bored of what's on your phone. This is gonna be a little game pouch. I found this idea yesterday. I was searching just good, handmade, last minute, in the nick of time gift ideas. And this came up. So I didn't come up with the idea. I found the idea online and I love it. So the first thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna get you down on my, hello Katana, good morning. I'm gonna get you down on my work table. Let's move the coffee over. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the pouch a game pouch, and it's specifically gonna be made for tic-tac-toe because everybody, when I told you this is universal, everybody can play tic-tac-toe, old and young alike. You don't need any skill set, and it's quick, right? So you're sitting at the bus stop or you're sitting waiting for your dinner to start and the kids are really bored, and you pull this out of your bag and you give it to them and say, play 3 rounds of tic-tac-toe and let's see who the winner is. It can be a really fun and shareable little gift idea. So this is the little pouch, but first we need the little, the little X's and O's that normally come with a tic-tac-toe. I don't have X's and O's, but I have these beads. They're like 1-inch half wood beads, and they look like a strip of those candies. I put them on tape, painter's tape, so I could paint them because I don't have X's and O's. So I was looking around thinking, what could I use? We can use these. I'm going to paint them black and white. Half of them are going to be black, half of them will be white, just so that, that's going to be the X and O part of it, right? Like someone's going to have the black, somebody's going to have the white. You could do whatever color you want. If the person you're gifting these to is a little girl and she's very girly, you could do pink and mint green. I think that would be adorable. You could do whatever you want. And you could just use a paint marker if you really want the X's and O's and just draw them on there, right? You could do that too. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, I think kind of like a modern, universal, like both men and women, girls and boys could use this. We're just going to paint these quick with black and white. I could have done this ahead of time, but you know, I always struggle with, okay, what can get done ahead of time and what should I show you? You know, if you have these little dots, you can get them, you don't need to see me put them on the painter's tape. You can just grab a strip of any tape that you have and you're gonna stick them on there. It just is an easy way to paint them without them moving around on you and you hopefully not getting your fingers dirty. Now, if I do need to use something to hold down, I usually grab, if I can find it, yep, in my little drawer here. I usually use my X-Acto knife and that little point, I just stick it on there. It never leaves a mark in my paint and it just gives me a little stabilizer so that if, you know, it's these little balls, these little wooden balls are so lightweight that they do want to move around on you. So we're just gonna hold them down. Say, stay in place so I can get you painted up. Really messy paint job, doesn't matter. I'm gonna make sure that once I get all the paint on there, that I get the excess off and that I smooth out the paint. But the first round of paint that I get on there is usually just a big old hot mess. We're just getting paint on there. So we're gonna do half of them black and half of them white. And I actually did a little research because then I was thinking, how many X's and how many O's do you need? Like what would be appropriate? Because how many before you run out of little parts, right? So I looked it up and if you buy a tic-tac-toe game, truthfully, most of them come with just 4 X's and 4 O's. But I was like, what if a kid loses one? What if one drops at the restaurant under the table and they don't even notice it, right? And then they're missing an X or an O, then they can't play the game. So instead of doing 4, I would recommend if you're going to make or buy little parts to put in for your X's and O's that you go a couple over. 4 is what, if you buy the game like at Target or something like that, 4 is what comes with it. I like the idea of having more. I don't know. Show me some hearts if you think that. If you could see that happening where you're losing stuff, right? Okay, I gotta see I can't see the comments. Let me grab them. Gail is saying, cool. Hey, Debbie Wright, good morning. Who said that? Oh my gosh, you think like I do. What if, Ballerina Boutiques? Yes, what if? What if one gets lost? I mean, they're just these little, you know, parts. It's supposed to be little. We want this to be little. We want it to travel easily, meaning, like I said, it can be, what if, you know, when I was in high school, my sister and I in Boston, we went to a Catholic all-girls high school, and it was 2 towns over from where we lived. So we took public transportation every single day, and it took us an hour to get to school. We took the bus into Boston, we took a train into the town that we were going into, and then we either walked or we took another bus to get right to our high school. It was an hour, and sometimes we did homework, but sometimes we were just bored. We were just bored. So wouldn't this be great for a kid who has I live in a rural state. So the kids here, some of them, if they live, you know, out on a farmstead, they got a bit of a bus route to go before they get to school, some of these kiddos. So isn't this better than just only having your phone to rely on? Because, you know, even you know, on my phone, when I have time to kill, if I'm in a waiting room at the doctor's office or at the dentist or waiting to get my hair cut or something, even I get bored of what's on my phone. Sometimes you just need a break from electronics. So I think this is a really fun idea. If you have an athlete in your life, my 17-year-old is a wrestler and he is away this weekend at a tournament, and it's 3.5 hours away. So he's spending about 7 hours on the bus this weekend with his teammates and coaches, right? So I say to him, what do you do? Sometimes he sleeps. And I said to him, is it too wild on the bus? Like, can you get a nap, or is it too, I was never an athlete, so I don't know these things. Can you get a nap, or is it too wild on the bus? He said, no. He said, most of us are so tired that it's just really mellow. So what if they had something fun to, you know, throw in his backpack to just do something fun? Oh gosh, girls, these are supposed to be black. It's okay. It's okay. We'll let them dry and we'll go right over them with black. I had the idea also because I thought it would be really fun. If you have something like this is a shimmer paste. You can get it at Hobby Lobby. It's called Opal Glitter Medium. Now, for my boys, opal glitter medium for my 17-year-old son is not, it's a no-no, right? It's a no-no. But for girls, if you just have like black and white, you're gonna do just a basic, even pink and green, you would definitely want to come back and put something glittery on it. All right, sorry about that. It's a good thing we did some prep work because I gave myself extra time just in case. I get so excited about the idea of this and sharing all the ways it could be used that okay, I did a whole bunch of white ones. It's painting easily. Actually, the first time that you paint anything like this that's raw wood, the first coat of paint is the hardest one to put on because the paint just sucks right into the bead or the wood, whatever you're painting. But now that this is already painted white, it was like a primer. You see how much faster this paint is going on than the other one did? I need to let those two dry because I can tell they're still just a little bit wet. But you see what we got going on here? Okay, we're gonna prep our bag. I'm just gonna move these over, hopefully. I'll do those other two beads later. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'll give them time to dry and you don't have to watch me dry it. Okay, the tic-tac-toe board is going to be the bag. You're just gonna empty the bag of your little beads and the tic-tac-toe board will be right here. So what I was trying to figure out is I have these 1-inch balls. So how big do I make the board? I would suggest making the board, the little squares on your tic-tac-toe board a little bit bigger than your, whatever it is that you're using. Little charms, you could use candies, you could use whatever you want. But whatever you're using for your your X's and O's, you wanna make the board a little bit bigger. These are 1-inch beads. So I made myself a little 1.5-inch template just out of paper. And what I did, I folded the bag in half so I would know. I do this a lot just to know in terms of lining things up, so I line it up right. So I finger press this so that I can see the center point. I can see the center line. And then what I did was I put my little 1.5-inch, this will be the center square, because you know you have a center square and then you have squares all around, right? So I was thinking, how am I gonna figure out how to do this just straight? So I took my center square and I put a dot at every corner. Okay, now I know that's my center square. Now it's not drawn in yet, but it's giving me a starting point. Then if I move that over to the outside dots and I do the same thing here and I put a dot, if I keep doing this, it's gonna give me my lines, where my lines need to go that I need to draw in. They're very faint, but you can see little dots on there. So however big you want your squares, make a little template, start in the middle, and then just keep creating your little dots so that you're giving yourself the template of where all these lines need to start and where they need to end, okay? Because if you're like me, I could eyeball it, and most of the time eyeballing it is good for me. Like I'm good with that if things are a little wonky. But with this, I kind of want it to be a little more precise. I want it to look really good if it's going to be a little gift item, right? So I'm going to take this, make sure it's rather straight. Now I have a grid of a bunch of dots showing me where to put my lines. Let me check the comments real quick. Hey, Missy Heath, good morning, my friend. Black paint. Chris, I know. I was getting so excited. She said, girl, get your black paint ready. I do, I need black paint. Sprinkling as well. Oh, Carol, thank you so much. When she says sprinkle, she's sharing. So I have a little note here. This is what she's meaning when she says she's sprinkling, spreading the love, spreading the blessings. Here at the Company Nest with Grace, we sometimes say fluff the nest. So thank you. Thank you so much, Carol, for doing that. Katie's up next. Katie from Junk to Jewel, she is here. Thank you for being here, Katie. I'm gonna drop her link so that when we're done here, you guys you can go over and follow her and you can join her. The other place that you can join and see all of the creatives today is in one of the groups. This is a group, or this is an event hosted by both Craft Around the Clock and Crafting Through the Seasons. So the description of this video has both of those links. And if you go there today, you can catch every single crafter who's going to be live today. You can find them there. Okay, you don't want to miss out on a stinking thing because we all need this help. So now I have all my lines created. Now, remember with the tic-tac-toe thing, you only do the inside lines. You're not doing the outside lines, right? So we only need to do the inside. I'm going to use a ruler. I grabbed all of the paint markers that I own, and you guys, my advice is I've never used a paint marker on canvas. So I wanted to make sure that my paint markers were gonna work. So I took a scrap of paper, and on the back of it, I tested my paint markers. This is what the first one did. Ugly, ugly, not gonna work. And these were the other two. And my favorite line, like the one that came up, I wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna bleed or that it showed up clearly and straight, not like that. So before you go in on your actual bag, maybe grab a little swatch of fabric and just test out your markers. The one that I decided was the winner was the Posca pen. So I'm going to use this to make my markings. And remember, we only need the outside lines. We don't need the inside lines. We only need the inside, not the outside. So I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to let my ruler do the work for me to get a nice straight line. And I'm just going to follow my dots. I went from the furthest dot to the furthest dot and connected them. That's all I did there. We're going to do the same thing here. Furthest to furthest, connect. Okay, now we need to do the same thing for these other two lines going the other way, the horizontal lines. So I find my two dots. That one feels really crooked to me. Let me just check my math here. No, it's right. It's right, Grace. Trust it. Trust the process, girl. It feels like it's wonky. You know my favorite word, wonky. Here's our tic-tac-toe game. You guys, it is this stinking easy. What? It must be my eyeballs. No, I want to go a little low on this line. So that's where your template will always help you. And as a paper crafter, you guys, I have learned to use templates to help me stay straight. Look at, there's my game. We're gonna put those dots, we're gonna lay this flat on a table, and there is our tic-tac-toe game. So we wanna fancy this up a bit. So what I did was I grabbed a set of stamps. You could use a stencil, but I just had these stamps on hand. So I grabbed those, and on the outside of the bag, on the other side, we're just gonna do tic-tac-toe. We're just gonna tic-tac-toe, where I have the stamp already ready because I didn't think you needed to watch me like pulling this apart and all that jazz. I have other little things I wanna show you. So I have my little letters here on this clear acrylic stamp. And these clear acrylic blocks for stamping, when you have the clear acrylic stamps of any brand, these are fantastic. They have little lines on them to make sure that you're straight and you can see exactly what you are stamping, which I love. You can check your accuracy in terms of how far apart they all are and use the grid lines to help you with that. I am using a permanent. You want to use a permanent ink pad. This is an archival ink by Ranger. So you want it to say permanent, waterproof, or archival, and you really want to wet that sucker up with some of that. And we're just going to say tic-tac-toe. I still see my center line, so I want my eye on the center. And we're just going to, I'm going to rock it back and forth, and we're just going to do a quick tic-tac-toe on there. Is it C? I hope it's C. I hope I got the letters right. You know, I think when I was searching it yesterday, you guys, I was like, toe is T-O-E, like the toe of your body? Yeah, it is. Oh, we need the tack. I could have kept the C there. But you see, this little acrylic thing is brilliant because the A is a little wider than the other two. So where I was centered before, I'm not centered anymore. I got to move my T over a little bit. And now I don't have to stamp it just yet. I can see my tick. This is clear. I love these things. And I can see exactly where it's going to go. We're just going to stack these letters one set right on top of the other. I think I've used that A before. If you haven't used stamps a whole lot, something I learned right away when I was buying these clear stamps is that my C is a little bit off, but you guys, I love wonky, so I'm gonna roll with it. Is that you have to scratch them up a little bit with a with a sanding block before you use them, or they won't transfer the ink for you. Did you know that? That was news to me. Tic Tac. Where's my O? Tick. Oh, here it is. I put it down. Tic Tac. And then we're going to do toe. Really easy. If you don't have stamps, you could use, now my T is a little off again because the O is smaller. If you don't have stamps, you could use stencils, or you could just use your marker and write it on, right? You don't have to be super fancy here. So easy, so easy. Hey, Tammy Stecker, thank you to all of you. See the girls that have, and it's all women. Men, you are welcome. You are welcome, but it is all crafty chicks. That's why I refer to our community as crafty chicks. It is all crafty chicks here at the Comfy Nest. I got a little bit of ink where I don't want it, so I'm just gonna grab a paper towel and some all-purpose cleaner here, and I'm gonna wipe off the edge here because I don't want that sticking out where I don't want it. All of the girls that have that little teal heart seal next to their name, I want to say thank you, because they are all supporters of the page, subscribers. They have unlocked exclusive content by subscribing to the page for $1.99 a month. It's a great way for you to support the Comfy Nest with Grace. I don't collect stars. What I do is I have this subscription offer. It's $1.99 a month, and you get exclusive content. We do some challenges where I give away Amazon gift cards, and behind the scenes. Look at guys. Tic-tac-toe. Right? Easy breezy. We're going to put our little dots in there. So let me get my other ones done. And I am not done. I have something else for this bag that I think is super fun, because we're going to, instead of just putting the little balls in there, we're going to add something else in here. Because I think, you guys, and let's just chat about this in the comments, because after I put this together yesterday and decided this was definitely my project, I had a few ideas that I was knocking around here in my craft space. And then when I found this one, I'm like, no, it has to be this. This is just too fantastic. It's just too fantastic. And so, like I said, universal. You can give this to grandma. She can use it at the doctor's office while they're waiting for doctor's appointments. Or this can go to your student athlete. This can go to the college dorm. This can be in someone's office if they tend to do a lot of overtime and they need a little quick break and they're bored in the coffee room. They can play, with a business mate. You guys, everybody can use a tic-tac-toe game that is in a travel pouch. Totally. And so inexpensive, guys. These would make great little stocking stuffers. Or, when you give a gift to someone and you don't give like big gifts to these people, like maybe it's the, your hairdresser, or maybe it's the teachers at school, or maybe it's, I don't know who it is in your life, but it's all these people that, you want to give them something unique. You guys, I'll just tell you, my sister's a teacher. She's been a teacher her whole life. She's older than me. She's 5 years older than me, so she's about 55. She's been a teacher her whole life. And about 10 years ago, I remember saying, if I get one more mug, she said, I don't know what to do with them all, because a great teacher's gift, because it's everybody uses a mug, and everybody needs a mug. If there are some really cute mugs out there, but she's a teacher, and she said, if I get another stinking mug, I don't know what to do with them all, and I feel bad. She's like, because people give them to me with such good intentions. This ain't no mug, friends. Everybody can use this. It's inexpensive and a really fun little gift to give someone. Okay, tic-tac-toe on one side. The name of it on the other side. We've got our beads working. Those are all painted now, and we're going to leave them be. I'm not going to put glitter on them. If I don't keep this for myself, I am going to give it to my 17-year-old for his gym bag, for the bus. What else could we put in this bag? I'm going to show you something else you can put in the bag as another option. Or an additional thing for the bag. We're going to make something else for the bag. But what else would fit in this bag? Throw out your ideas in the comments, because I think we could get really creative with this. I was thinking a deck of cards, like an Uno game would fit in here, or a regular deck of playing cards would fit in here. Or April, you can get these off my website. I think you could probably get them at any hobby store, but these particular ones I sell in sets of 3 at thecomfynestwithgrace.com. Let me just drop that link in the comments for you guys. if you go to the craft supplies section, thecomfynestwithgrace.com, on my website, you can find these in sets of 3. All of the people in my Napkin Lovers Club group, it's a quarterly subscription box, got these in their box, the last box, and we decoupage them with napkins. But I think this is a great way to use them. So all you Napkin Lovers Club members, if you bought an extra set of these from the site. Okay, if you don't have the balls and you don't have X's and O's, other things that you could put in here, if you're giving it to your husband or a man, your adult son, how about, you guys, and don't even, you know why I have all of these. How about bottle caps? These are Miller High Life bottle caps. That's the beer my hubby likes. So how about bottle caps? And they can actually, I have 8 of them here. Listen. Don't judge, friend. Don't judge. The reason I have 8 of these here, you guys, is because I feel the need to explain. I'm a huge fan of using what you have in your creative life and in my art journals and in my mixed media projects. Go ahead and laugh. I see all the laughter. I don't want to say it too. I don't want to get in trouble with Facebook like for promoting something. But let me just say, I've been saving these because we used them in the Craft Therapy Club, my other membership group, on a mixed media project. In fact, I think I have it right here. Let me show you. I had pulled it out because I wanted to show you something else. So we were making, let me see if I can find one. So we were making these mixed media projects, these canvases in the Craft Therapy Club, and we were talking about things that you could glue to the front of your canvas to give texture and dimension, and bottle caps is one of the things that most people have on hand, and you can easily paint them and obscure the Miller High Life. Anyway, that's why I have them, because I use them in my mixed media projects. But if you had 7 or 8 of these, right, you want to give a couple extra, you know, in fact, listen, the men can replace this real easily if they lose one. But you want to give a couple extra. But even if they were all the same brand, you know, someone could do up and someone could do down. And then that's how they would know who is X and who is O, right? So that's another option for your tic-tac-toe pieces, your X's and O's if you don't have them. Here's another option. I got this string of chunky beads at the Dollar Tree this summer, and I know they sell things like this. You could easily grab any kind of bead, and the square ones are nice because they're going to stay in place. They're not going to roll off the table. Paint them or just draw on them the X's and O's. That's another option for you. I'm just trying to help you with your imagination. The other thing that I thought would be really cute for a little girl or a woman, I think, these from the Dollar Tree. You know these little parts? So someone could be owls and someone could be, these are little butterflies. How cute would these be inside your tic-tac-toe? Oh, when you start thinking this way, it's endless. The idea is, oh, buttons, coins would be fun. Yes, buttons, coins, beads. Pam, those are a really good idea. Kelly says, so could my girlfriends get you those beer can bottle toppers? Dice, yes, Gail. A set of dice in here. My sister and I love to play dice games like Farkle and things like that. That would fit in this little pouch. So a pack of cards, some dice. Oh my gosh, you guys, the endless ideas. Hello, Miss Sherry from Kentucky. It says Right Meeks Sherry. So I'm assuming your name's Sherry, but hello, hello. Hi, Pat, welcome. Oh my gosh, you guys. Missy says, right, you have teenagers, you know the truth why you have so many. Okay. All right, so what the other thing that I thought we could put in this, I'm going to put this aside for a second, is a little score book. Okay, how about a little score book? If you go to the Dollar Tree, they do now sell, they're about this big, and they're little, oh, do I have one here? I do have one here. Well, I jazzed mine up because I alter books. This is one of those little composition notebooks from the Dollar Tree. I mean, you wouldn't even have to put a decorative cover on it, but that's what this is. So that would fit in there perfectly if you can find, you know, a little notebook. But if you don't have a little notebook, I thought I'd show you how to make one. So this is so fast and easy. Okay, use what you got. Girlfriends, I am such a huge fan of this. This was a paper pack that I bought years ago. Finally used it all up, and this is the front cover. And the back cover, I already cut it up to make the book, but the back cover is actually more sturdy than the front cover. But I keep all of these because they're great cardboard for making book covers. So I cut that up in a size that would fit inside my little bag. I cut it up. So here I cut it, and then I made my folds point because now I know that this will fit inside my bag. And I covered the front with a bingo card because it's a game pouch, and the back with just some scrapbook paper that I had on hand that I thought was like universal. Men, women, doesn't matter. It's just fun and kind of makes me think of a game board, right? So I could have done bingo on the front and back, but I did this on the front and this on the back. This will fit directly in here so that they can have a little score book or a place just to keep notes. Who won the first match, who won the second match, or how many games you played and when. Good morning, Vicki. Hello, hello. So any book that you can get, but if you don't have one or if you want to make one extra special, use the front or back cover. You could use a cereal box, anything like that. And you're going to cover it with decorative paper. I just used my glue stick and these decorative papers, and I glued it on the front, glued it on the back, fold it in half. This is the cover of our book. Then, using what I have on hand, I grabbed from in my office, I have a cupboard that has all school supplies in it, and this was my son's religion notebook from when he was in grammar school. We still have it. You have these notebooks on hand? Please show me some hearts. If you're the mama or the grandma that has a million of these half-used, mangled up books on hand, perfect. This is perfect for the inside of your book. So I grabbed several sheets of it, and for the sake of time, girls, so I wasn't like nervous about not finishing up, but you can handle this. For the sake of time, I've already cut it. I used my paper cutter and I cut it up into strips that would fit inside my book. All it is, you guys, cereal box cover with whatever you want to glue on the outside of it, a cereal box, brownie box, cookie box, you know, from the store, big enough to make the book the size that you want. You just cut it with your paper cutter, or you could use an X-Acto knife or scissors. You can even use scissors. And then this is just notebook paper that I grabbed from one of those old notebooks. And we're going to put it in here and make a little book for our little game pouch. Easy, easy breezy. Let's do it. Let's do it. You guys can do this. And most of the time, oh, Patty says, I have tons of those comprehensive notebooks. Oh my gosh, Lori, you do too? Good morning, Mary Harris. Thanks for saying good morning. Oh, Tita, you're so sweet. Tita saying, welcome to Sherry and all the newbies. Good morning, Diane, my Massachusetts friend. Okay, easy breezy. Most of the time when I make these books, I sew the binding in. But today we're talking about ease, in the nick of time, meaning you're stretched for time. Let's see if we can make this easier. It's teeny, you guys. There aren't a lot of pages in here. And it's not a very big book. So it doesn't have to like last them forever to eternity. It just is a little book for their game pouch, right? So what I did was I just took a length of, you could take any ribbon. I have baker's twine. You could use jute. You could use embroidery thread. You could use a ribbon. And all I'm going to do is I am going to tie this together instead of sewing it together. And I wonder, I probably could get this around twice, but I'm just going to do it once for the sake of our sanity and time. All I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this. Now, girls, if you have another set of hands that you can say, hey, can you come over here and put your finger down? How do you say someone, put your finger right there? That would be ideal. I don't have anybody to ask. Well, Gannon's home. He's on the couch watching TV. But you would ultimately want this to be as tight as possible. I'm going to wrap it around one more time because that will give you a tighter pull here. And you want it taut, meaning firmly pulled, but don't pull so hard that you squish your book, right? You're going to tie it tight here. And then, you know, you can do it. I usually do a knot first. I'm holding it down with my ring finger on my left hand so it stays in place as best possible. And you want that as tight as you possibly can get it so that your book pages stay in very easily. And then once you got the knot, you can either cut it off or you can make it pretty. You can do a little bow. It doesn't matter. My son isn't going to want a bow. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to give this to him. Don't tell him. I don't think he's going to want a bow. So for him, I would probably just cut it off, but you could just do a little bow. Okay, look at, your book is made. Your book is made. That's it, friends. And then this can go inside your little game pouch. And then you could add a little glitter pen. Well, not for my son, but like, a glitter pen, a regular pen, a pencil, whatever you want. I think a pen with a cover would be better because the pencil would mark everything up. But a pen with a cover in there would be great so he can keep his score of whatever they're playing. Okay, so we got that. We're just rolling along with this project. And what other ideas did you guys come up with? I'm going to try to check the comments for things that you could put. Oh, mini eraser shapes. Those would be fun. Who said that? Who said that? Pam Hopkins. I love that idea. Gail says, I love Farkle too. Southern Designs and Fine. She said you could use Scrabble letters that spell tic-tac-toe. Oh yeah, anything, anything that you can find. You could use newspaper print or magazine letters that you cut out and made it like a collaged tic-tac-toe. Small gingerbread and cookies are cupcakes, Bonnie says. So maybe you're talking about using the boxes. Any box would work for making your book cover. Hi, Cynthia. You can also use unused bottle caps from homebrew supply shops. Oh, Mary, didn't even know that was a thing. Very cool. Let's see. I'm trying to look for other ideas. Oh, buttons, coins, and beads. Yes, we all agree that, Pam, that is such a good idea. I love it. Yvonne, she says this is one of my favorite projects. Yeah, I hope that this is really unique. It was my hope was that this was incredibly unique and you guys could all get a good use for it. Let's grab these and make sure they're ready. Let's see. The white ones are definitely ready. I'm going to check real quick. Oh no, I've missed a spot. Girls, we missed a spot. All right, so before you take these off, they're all dry right now and they're mostly covered. Before you take them off, make sure, like right here is where the culprit's gonna be. Like right up against that tape. Just hold your tape up. And I used like a 1.5 inch painter's tape, which who knew that could be so useful in your craft room. I use it all the time to hold stencils down or to hold my beads down, hold little wooden shapes down so that you can paint them. Oh boy, does it make life easier. Look at, I missed a big spot right there. I missed a big spot right there. You know what this reminds me? Is anybody here from Florida? If you're a Florida resident, or if I shouldn't even say resident because some of you we go down to Florida regularly. If we get a vacation, we like to go down as far south as possible. We live in North Dakota and it be cold here. So I'm constantly telling my husband, we're going to go somewhere. If we're going to spend the money, we're going somewhere warm. So we go down to Florida. Plus my sister lives down there, as does my mother-in-law. So we get to see family when we're there. If you live in Florida, let me know that in the comments, or if you frequent, because you know what these little things remind me of? Can anybody think what these might remind me of? In South Florida, Southwest, I should say. And very sadly enough, they're gone now. What would these remind me of? These little domes, that's your hint, that they are now, my sister told me they're sadly gone right now. Jeanette's coming from Arkansas. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, friends. Oh, old sorry pieces. Listen, Chris, that's a good idea. If you had any old, you know how you have like a Monopoly game and over the years parts just disappear? You could use any of those old parts instead of just throwing them out. Checker, like the checker, you could use checker pieces. If you found them at the thrift store, checker pieces could become your tic-tac-toe if you had the red and black ones. Oh, Tita says, turn this into a mini art bag and put a sketchbook, pencils, things for adding color. I love it. You could put washi tape in there. Yes, Tina, I love this idea. She says, if you were gifting this to a high schooler, you could paint the beads to match the school colors. Well, our school colors are red and black, but when the kids, they're wrestling, they're not called outfits. What are they called? What are they called? Those things that they wear. Oh, goodness, I can't think of the word. Anyway, they wear white. So they either wear black, red, or white at our school. So these are perfect for my guy. Yes, Darlia, hello. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for asking me to be part of this. I'm so thrilled to share this idea with everybody, and thank you. Darlia is our organizer for this event. Yes. Oh, Bella Lynn is saying we can get checker pieces at the Dollar Tree. I did not know that. Rocks. Yes, just pebbles and rocks that you can paint the top or just put your X's and O's on. Love it. Oh, Tina, plastic animals, toy soldiers from the dollar store, seashells. Oh, seashells. Yeah, speaking of Florida. Okay, so those of you who live in Florida, uniform, it has a name, you guys. Missy, do you have wrestlers? Singlets. Barbara knows it's singlets. Yeah, you know what? You guys, I was a dancer. In elementary school and high school, I was a dancer. I was not an athlete. And the first time my son came home with that thing, I said, oh, what a nice leotard. I love the colors. He was like, Mom, we don't call it a leotard. He was so irritated by that. I said, is it a unitard? Like, because it's all one. Is it a unitard? I don't know what it's called. I'm a dancer. So for me, I called it a leotard. And he was so irritated, you guys. He's like, Mom, it's not what we call it. It's a singlet. I don't know why, but it's called a singlet. Oh, my poor lovely child. I know. I embarrassed the boys. It's a good thing none of his friends were around. He was like, what? It's not a leotard, Mom. That's the language I knew, Judy. Isn't that so funny? Okay, we need these to dry. I'm going to check my black ones and make sure. Do you know what these, I started to tell you what these remind me of. You guys, I used, by the way, let me just say real quickly, so that I wouldn't have to top coat these, being, trying to be efficient here for time. If you did these with chalk paint or with even acrylic paints, you might be tempted to top coat them so that the paint doesn't chip or wear off. Just, an idea, if you want to save yourself the time from having to do a top coat, and you can really tell with this, you could use a paint that has the top coat in it, whatever your favorite brand is, or a lot of times multi-surface paint is already, I have multi-surface paint that's meant for outdoors. That would be great for this because it's going to be really sturdy. Or enamel paints, they tend to be more sturdy or last longer. So just an FYI, if you're looking for something that you're going to paint and you don't want to do a whole lot of extra effort here and do the top coat, the other idea I have for you is before you take them off the strips, if you don't have an enamel paint or a paint that has a top coat in it, take these strips out to the garage and just spray your Mod Podge top coat or spray something on them to get them to, so that they're going to last, a good amount of time. When they get dropped on the floor and they get dinged up and all that, they're still going to look pretty nice. Shelly says, I got my package yesterday. Thank you so much. I can't wait to start crafting with them. Oh, yay. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. Okay, girls. So we went through all the ideas of things that you could put for your tic-tac-toe pieces. You guys, this is so easy. I showed you how to get a really straight line here. Just remember, you only want the inside lines. Don't make yourself a frame. The things that we do when we're creating and our minds are on other things. So use a little template, a little square template, and then just mark. I just put pencil marks on my bag. If you didn't see that part, just catch the replay later here on the Comfy Nest with Grace or in one of the groups. On the other side, we stamped tic-tac-toe. Then we made simple little book that is tied together, no sewing required. That's gonna go in here. I thought it would be really fun if you're giving this as a gift, like if it's gonna go in a stocking stuffer, throw a few, I've got some candy canes here. I'm gonna throw those in there. You could put Snicker bars, Twix bars, peppermints, whatever your friend, family member loves. And then you're gonna pop in there all of your little beads that you made. And you guys, you've got yourself in the nick of time, last minute gift. Now, let me remind you, we have 45-minute time slots. I did a little prep work beforehand just to make sure that we had enough time. These are just gonna go right in the bag, you guys. But it probably won't take you this long. And you could, if you can buy these bags on my website, thecomfinesswithgrace.com, in sets of 3. I will check inventory right when I'm done here to make sure I got enough. So if a bunch of you want to buy them, you can. That's it, you guys. Done. If you really want to fancy this up for a woman, especially because girls, we're frilly and we like frilly things. The other idea I have for your little bag is to put on the top. We made these, you guys, they're keychain tassels. If you're in the Craft Therapy Club, my membership group, go to the guides and go to guide number 54 where the bonus content is and just type in the word keychain tassel. This one is really big because I love big and chunky, but I want to show you, we just embedded them with some beads. I like the noise. I like clanky. So they've got some beads and lace, and this is all scraps of ribbon that you probably already have on hand. So that's a big one. This one's kind of a medium one, and this one has this kind of clasp on the top. And then here's the smallest one that I made, and it has like keys on it. And like I said, like this has like a little set of 2 sets of beads and just lace and ribbon that I had on hand. And you can take this little clasp and just attach it to your drawstring so that they have like a fancy little draw or zipper pull. Oh my gosh, it just makes it a little more fancy. Now, for my 17-year-old, this will not be included, or you could make a more manly one. But for girls, if you like to, or if you want to learn how to make these beaded tassels, join my Craft Therapy Club, because lots and lots of content in there from the past 4 years. That group has been around for 4 years. So all of the workshops are all organized in that group for all the things that we've made in the past. And that's one of them. And I think it would be a great way to jazz up. You guys, my time is up. Go watch the next creator, Katie with Junk to Jewel, in either one of the groups. It's either the Craft Around the Clock group or Crafting Through the Seasons. Both of the links are in this description. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.